Okay, now let me share the screen with you. So guys, I hope you're able to see my screen. I hope you're able to see my screen. All of you. Thank you. Okay guys, so let's understand the purpose of these weekend classes. Okay, so mainly it is for someone who is attending interviews or planning to take this training, go forward and take the interviews. Mainly it is planned for them. Okay, but there is so much for others as well. Okay, there are so many topics that we will discuss. There are so much knowledge that you can gain. Usually, okay, I don't take this as a part of my course, so definitely they're not as organized as what you see of my regular classes. Okay, this is the first thing. Yeah, Tawhid Chowdhury, it is getting recorded. Definitely what you see on these weekend classes is it's not organized. You don't find the slides, you wouldn't see the same kind of impact that you might have on the regular classes, because these are not proper. This is not happens generally for me. Okay, whenever students ask me certain things, I go ahead and train them on this. So that is the one thing that you have to know. You will clearly notice as you start attending the weekend classes, and they will be ad hoc. In the sense, there will not be any flow. Today I'll talk about the test plan. Maybe the next week I talk about workload modeling. Then immediately I go into JMeter and I'll cover what is required. Then Srivalli wanted web services. Then immediately I go to the web services. So web services also, what is required to get you do in the project, that I will explain about it. But why web services, how it will work, what web services, I'll not discuss about all that. I'll just talk about how to do performance testing on web services. So definitely, you will not see the same flow that you see in the regular classes, because if I wanted to give the background, if I have to talk in the same pace as I cover the regular classes, this might go for 3-4 months, the whole course. Okay, so definitely these are up to the point. Okay, what will help you with the interviews and what will help you in the projects. Okay, so keeping this in mind, I'll get started today. So I'll talk about the test plan. I got so many private messages like from today morning saying that they will not be able to attend the classes. It's fine, the session is getting recorded, and whoever is attending it, they can make maximum use of this particular class. Okay, so this is the agenda for this. So let me see who all is there. Oh, my dear friend. Oh, Shraddha is there. I one of my sincere students. Like, I just wanted to check all the people who are all attending. Okay, so I see Kiran. Kiran is there. Yeah, Kiran, Sagar, Melly, Kausalya, wonderful. Naresh from my regular classes, is he here? Yes. Okay, wonderful. Rahul is there. Good to see Rahul. And Satish, wonderful. Okay. Susie, Melly, nice. Chaudhary, yeah. And then Shraddha, yeah, wonderful. Samir, yeah, good to see you, Samir, as well. Okay. Khida, wonderful. So Ayo, Anita, nice. Okay. So there is Rahana missing. There is Phil missing. Okay. Kiran, there is one more Kiran that is missing. Okay. Fine. It's okay, guys. So I just wanted to keep a tab on who is attending my weekend classes, just to get a feel for. Okay. So, and this class, one of the reason, yeah, Igram, yeah. I'm sorry. You have named as YF, right? Kind of, yeah. Okay, now you have changed your name. Good to see that. Okay, nice. You're here, you have. Sorry, I didn't take your name. Okay, in case if I missed, I'm sorry. Okay, so, yep. So let's get started, guys. Yep. Let's get started. So please display your entire name, okay, going forward. YF, okay. Yeah. So this is morning here in India. So I'm sure, you will have a good weekend tomorrow, whoever is in US, okay. And let's get started. So test plan, okay. So let's go to performance testing life cycle, okay. So the first stage, I want the complete energy in the class, guys. Whenever I ask something, try to type it on the chat window. So can somebody please type all the life cycles of performance testing life cycles, like all the stages. NFR gathering, wonderful. That's the first one. Okay. What is the second one? Test planning. Wonderful. Test planning slash, some people call this as test strategy, even though there is a subtle difference. Okay. Okay. Then test design. Okay. And then execution. And finally, reporting. Okay. Test reports and analysis. Wonderful. And if there are any bottlenecks, so you have a bottleneck analysis. Okay. But only if you have a bottlenecks. So wonderful, guys. So this is the different stages of performance testing life cycle. So here we are talking about the test planning. So who is the responsible per person to create the test plan? It's the test lead, okay, or test manager. Okay. So it is their responsibility. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't know what a test plan should look like, and you shouldn't know what it is like and all that. So in most of the interviews, if you get as a QA, okay, or in other words, as a manual tester, okay, or automation tester or performance testing, or a performance tester, you're going for the interviews. Okay, you're going for the interviews. So this is one question they might ask. What is? I don't say they will ask, but they might ask. Okay, what is the question? Have you involved in the test planning phase? Okay, or they will ask you, did you get a chance to create a test plan? Create a test plan. Okay, so you listen to the class and you can answer those questions appropriately. Okay, you can either say that I have created a test plan, or you can say that, to be on the safer side, you can say that I was involved in creating the test plan. Okay, so if I would say I have created a lot of test plans, I would say I have created test plans. So these are one of the possible answers that you can give after attending these classes. Okay, I was involved or assisted my lead in creating the test plan. Okay, so this is the safest answer. Or you can say that I have created the test plan. If you're super confident after this class, you say I have created a test plan. Okay, so I don't know if this name assistant. Okay, I think that's right. Yeah, maybe I don't know. Maybe that is right. Okay, so involved or assisted my lead in creating the test plan, or you say I have created the test plan. So this is typically a general question, usual question that you will be asked. Okay, whether you're going for manual testing interviews or performance testing interviews. Okay, so this is the general question they would ask. So more or less, overall the test plan template, the sections, everything will be same, whether you're going for a manual testing interview or a performance testing interview or an automation interview. Okay, only certain sections will change. So overall you will get a feel for after attending this class. And if you're going for a manual testing, you can adjust this. I mean, whatever I've told you, you can make some little bit of changes, and you can say you have done a QA test plan or a manual testing test plan, or when you're attending performance test as a performance tester itself, you can say that you have created or assisted your lead in creating the performance test. Okay, now let's start looking into it. Okay, as discussed in the class, any important activity in your life, there is a proper planning. Okay, there is a proper planning. Okay, so it could be a small activity or a big activity, but if it's an important activity or occasion, you have a proper plan. For example, marriage. Okay, for example, preparing for your certifications or exams. Okay, so as simple as your weekend plan. Okay, obviously you say weekend plan, the weekend plan itself says that you're planning for the weekend. Okay, so the next weekend, which happens every 7 days, there is a weekend every 7 days, which happens every 7 days, you have a plan for that. So definitely every single activity in your life, there is a plan. Definitely here your client is shelling out lot of money. Okay, lots of money. So definitely there is a plan. Definitely there is a plan. Okay, so shelling out a lot of money. Definitely there, instead of saying there is a plan, there should be a plan. There should be a plan. Okay, there should be a plan. Okay, so so for QA, they have their own plan. When I say QA, quality analyst, okay, or manual tester, okay, quality analyst or a manual testing, or some people call this as system testing, okay, or as a part of it, there is system integration testing, okay. There is a test plan for that. For example, when you get into the project, there is no QA or manual testing. It's not used inside the projects. They're used outside. Inside the projects, they use system testing. Okay. So for system testing team, there is a system testing test plan. Okay. System integration testing happens after system testing. Okay. So for them, there is a SIT test plan, system integration test plan. For automation team, automation is using, if you're wondering what is automation testing, usually it is done using the tools called Selenium or UFT or RFT. They have their own plan, which we call it as automation test plan. For security testing, they have their own plan, which is security testing test plan. Similarly, for performance testing, we have our own plan, which is performance testing test plan. Okay, more or less for all these test plans, the template is same. Whether it's system integration testing test plan, okay, system testing test plan or system integration testing test plan, automation test plan, security testing test plan, or performance testing test plan, the template is same. Okay, template as in how the sections, what are the sections that are included, how the sections are arranged, overall in general, the template remains the same, but contents will change. Today I'm going to talk about performance testing test plan. I'm going to talk about performance testing test plan. Okay, so this test plan has different sections. So we will first have a quick look at all the sections which are involved. Okay, all the sections which are involved in the test plan. Okay, first we will look at all the sections. Okay, then we will go through each of those sections. Okay, we'll go through each of those sections. Okay, so I don't know who is this guy, KOUAI. Okay, I really need to know the name. My curiosity levels have increased. KOUAI. Okay, whoever it is, please let me know, guys. KOUAI. Okay, just logged out and logged back in. So I'm just wondering who is that. KOUAI. Not sure. Okay, they're not responding. Anyways. So let's look at it, guys. So here is the document I have prepared for this, especially for this class. Okay, so let's have a look at this document. Okay, so okay, so I've created this test plan assuming that it's for the Mercury Web Tools application. Okay, so I've given this as Mercury sample project, or you can say instead of project, typically if it's a real project, it says Mercury Web Tools. Okay, so Mercury Web Tools. Okay, so let's say this test plan is for the Mercury Web Tools. The release typically will be whatever the year it is 2018. So 2018. Okay, so this is the third. This one. Okay, okay. Oh, Kausalya. It's Kausalya. Okay, fine. Okay, so you usually have release 1, release 2, release 3. Okay, I'll tell you what is release 1, release 2, release 3. March. Okay, so you add like 3 months: March, April, May. Okay, this is release 1. Okay, so this is release 1. Okay, May, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. Okay, so this is release 2. Okay, so October, November, December. Okay, October to December, this is release 3. Okay, so this is how usually companies plan for. Okay, it need not have to happen in every simple company, but typically this is how they plan for. Okay, any projects. And then Jan to January, February, March. Okay, so I hope I haven't missed anything. Okay, so this is release 4. Okay, March, April, May, June, July, August. Yeah, this is where it is. August. Okay, that's what I was wondering. September, October, November. Okay, and this is December to January, February. December, January, February. So typically this is how in my company or most of the projects that I was involved in will plan their releases. You usually plan their releases like this. Okay, so the project will be typically for 3 months. Okay, project will be typically for 3 months. Okay, okay, so this is one usually they do in the form of releases. So they do the release 1. Let's say we are doing the performance testing for this Mercury Web Tools itself. Okay, Mercury Web Tools project. Okay, so they don't create the project at one go. First, in the form of releases, they handle the project. March to May, they consider it as one release. They create a certain aspect of the web application, okay, that Mercury Web Tool web application, and after May, they release it into the public world. So the whole project is not done yet. Internally, they keep working on the project and they keep adding additional features and they're enhancing the existing features that will happen in the next release. Okay, and they release it in the next one. So that enhancements, additions, adding new features, it's a continuous process there. Once the product is done, it will never be enough, guys. Okay, for a simple example, let's take WhatsApp. Okay, let's take WhatsApp maybe 5 years back. First time it has launched. Do we have audio calling in that? At 5 years back, if somebody has used, does it have an audio calling, guys? Did it had audio calling? I'm just asking you. No, it didn't had an audio calling. Did it had video calling? Did it had video calling? Did it had video calling? Probably 5 years back, I'm saying. The answer is no. Okay, the answer is no. So, come on. Okay, so there is no. So, did it give an opportunity to delete once you have messaged somebody? Did it opportunity to delete something? No. So there are so many features. These are the obvious features that we have observed. At least I have observed. But there are hundreds of features that were not there. So as the application or as the WhatsApp is becoming popular, they kept adding these features. And those features, or they enhance the existing features and they keep adding the existing, like status is also there. Okay, which was not there before. So what they do is they release the base product and it becomes popular. They keep adding it. How? For every 3 months, they create a product. Let's say from March to May, they decided that they will work on the audio calling. So they continue to work on the audio calling. By the end of May, okay, which is June, they release the audio calling feature into it. Then they work on the video calling. Then they work on the status. They work on the delete options. Like this, they keep adding the features and they keep enhancing the existing features. And that happens in the form of releases. And these usually are industry accepted years or months for the releases. This is typically, they call it as release 1. This is the financial year, guys. January is your regular year. So March is your financial. Is it March? No. I got these numbers totally inappropriate. Guys, it's not March. It starts with April, May, June, July. Okay, April, May, June. Okay, so sorry for that. April, May, June, and this one starts in July, August, September. That's what I was wondering. This looks weird. Okay, September, and then the next release starts in August, September, October. August, September, October. It's for 3 months, guys. April, May, June, July, August, September, October. October, November, December. Yeah. Then you have Jan, Jan, February and March. Yeah, these are the releases. Okay, so your fiscal year usually starts with April, so that is considered as a release 1. Okay, if you are wondering about the taxes and all that, typically it will end in March, and your taxes, everything you have to, if you remember, if you are working, you know when you pay the taxes, guys. By when you are supposed to pay the taxes in US, guys, I'm just asking you, people who are already working in US. People who are already working in India, you know that it is after March, then you start preparing for paying for your taxes and all that. So from April is where the fiscal year starts. Okay, then that's what is the release 1, then release 2. The next 3 months is release 2, then release 3 and release 4. So typically the project happens in this form of releases. Okay, and for every release they will keep adding the existing, keep enhancing the existing features. What they do, guys, what they do, enhance the existing features. Okay, which means that there is a feature, they make it better, or add new features. Okay, so these are the things which will happen typically from release to release. For every single release, okay, so this is what it is. Okay, so now so this one was E3. So in 2018, this is for the release 3. This is for the release 3. Okay, this is for the release 3 test plan, and this is a performance testing plan. Okay, what is the program name? Mercury Web Tours. Okay, Mercury Web Tours. That's a program name, or they will give you what is the programming name, and the project is Mercury 18 E3 release. Okay, 18 E3 release. Okay, and they will give you a project ID. If there is any project ID, you just have to put the project ID over here. Typically the project ID starts with your project name, so it should start with your Mercury Web Tours. Okay, so some number like this. Okay, so they will give you all this information. You just have to plug that information over here. Okay, now the document version. So usually first version that you create will be 0.1. Okay, then you do your own review and you make the changes. It will be 0.2. Then you send it to your colleagues. Okay, like your fellow performance testers. They will review. They will give you some suggestions. It will be released version 3. Then your manager will review it. It will be version 4. Okay, then you send it to the client. He will review it and he will give you different people. You're not, when I said client, it's not one single person, guys. Okay, it could be one single person or it could be more than that. Okay, when I said client, guys, when I said client, okay, it will be one single person, or it could be one single person, or it could be many, when I said client. Okay, so when I said client, okay, when I said client, okay, it could be one single person from your client, or it could be many people from your client. Okay, so let's say there are, for me, the people who have reviewed were 5 people. Okay, usually there are 4 to 5 people who would review my test plans. Okay, so they will review, they will send you the comments, so the versions will become 0.6, 0.7, 0.8. okay, like this the versions continue to change. Okay, now what is this approved? After all the reviews are done, okay, then there are no more reviews. You are incorporated, okay, all the reviews. Okay, I'll give you the steps. As to how the test plan is. From the step 1, first you will create the test plan, okay, based on NFR documents and talking to clients about various aspects or topics. Okay, so this is what we call it as. Okay, this is what we can call this as an initial draft. Okay, it's still a draft version. Okay, then there will be a peer review. Peer review is somebody who is of your same level, okay, or your same kind of work you are doing, okay, or I can say fellow performance tester or testers, okay, depending upon how your project is. Okay, so then, okay, your boss review, which is your manager's review. Okay, then every time there is a review, and if you like the review, you incorporate the review comments. Incorporate the review comments. Okay, incorporate the review comments. Okay, so now your manager, okay, your test manager has reviewed it. Your test manager has reviewed it. Again, you have incorporated the comments. Now the initial draft is changing and the versions of the test plans is also changing. Okay, then your client, okay, will review. Client review. Okay, as I've told you, client means it need not have to be one person, it could be more than one person. Again, you will incorporate all the review comments. Now your initial draft has become version 1, then version 2, then version 3 or version 4, version 5, like this. Let's say overall you have 10 versions. Now finally the test plan is in a good shape. Okay, test plan is in good shape. Okay, so what is the next one? Then there is a walkthrough. Okay, there is a walkthrough. Your supervisor is your manager. Or a lead. You are a lead, then your supervisor is a manager. You are a performance tester, then your supervisor is a lead. Okay, you are a performance tester, likelihood that you creating the test plan is very less. Okay, if you are a performance tester, you are a lead, likelihood is very, very high. Okay, now you have a walkthrough of this test plan. Okay, walkthrough of a test plan. Can somebody tell me what is a walkthrough? Okay, so what is a walkthrough? This is the 5th step. Can somebody tell me what is a walkthrough? Okay, once the test plan is in a good shape, there is a walkthrough. Okay, wonderful. I want to hear from all of you. When I said walkthrough, what is that first thing that you will understand? Travel through. Okay, okay. What do you understand by the walkthrough? Reviewing. Okay, so when I said walkthrough, yeah, it's a kind of review, but all the reviews are already done. Peer review is done, which is your fellow performance tester. Your test manager's review or your supervisor review is done. Then you are a client review. Okay, and by the way, Majid, stop using the words like supervisor. Once you come to IT field, you shouldn't use the words like supervisor. Everybody is your of this. It doesn't matter if manager or lead or anybody. Okay, so even though it's your boss, you should never address them as supervisor. You address with their names. Let's say if your boss name is Mark, you just say Mark. Okay, never say boss or supervisor. Okay. Yeah, thank you. So walkthrough means, okay, you call for a meeting. Okay, usually these are online meetings only, just like what I'm doing with the GoTo meeting. It will be your GoTo meetings or WebEx meetings. Okay, it is WebEx meetings or GoTo meetings. Okay, so then typically you are the presenter, the performance tester. You have created the test plan, so you are the presenter. Okay, you open the test plan. Okay, let's say there are 10 people attending the meeting. Okay, 10 people attending the meeting. Okay, it could be your fellow performance testers. Who are the audiences now in the meeting? Okay, who are the audiences? It's your test manager. Okay, all the people from the client side who for which it matters. Okay, they will be attending. So when I said client, it could be one person or it could be 10 people attending. Okay, or any other people. Okay, any other personnel. Okay, for which it matters, for whom this plan matters. Okay, this plan matters. For example, database team. For example, infrastructure team, because they are the ones who has to create the infrastructure for us. Database team is to creating the data for us. So all these people will be attending this meeting. Typically, it could be 10 people or it could be more than 10 people. Okay, so all these people will be attending and you are the presenter in the meeting. You open the test plan. Okay, you open the test plan. Okay, and you go through each section. Okay, go through each section carefully and you walk them through, which means that you open the section, you talk about what is important in that section, and you wanted to get the general consensus from all of them. For example, you opened a section called test data. And you said that the database team will create the data for performance testing team. Okay, performance testing team. Okay, now definitely there is a guy from database team who is attending that meeting. Now, if he has any issues, he will bring it up and say that, oh, we have already lots of work, we don't have enough bandwidth, will not be able to do it. This is when the program manager means who is the head of the complete program. Okay, he's the head of development team, he's the head of database team, he's the head of infrastructure team, he's the head of every single testing team, may it be a system testing or a QA or performance testing automation. He is the head of the complete program. Okay, so he's the head of development. Every person who is involved, he's the head of that. So he's the guy who will involve and say that, oh, this needs to be done for performance testing team, and you have to do it irrespective of whether you have a bandwidth or not. So I'm just telling you why this walkthrough is important section by section. Okay, so infrastructure, performance testing environment. Okay, there is a section called performance testing environment. Okay, in the test plan, you will open and you say that, oh, exactly like production, we want the same kind of environment. Now somebody from the infrastructure team will come and say that, oh, we have procured this, we cannot procure this, will not be able to give you. So there are so many ifs and buts, you know, the things happening, everybody is involved, everybody talks. So you as a presenter, you take a note out of it, and if there are any changes that needs to be done, you will make those changes to the test plan. Okay, like this, you are a presenter, you will walk through section by section, every single section of your test plan, and make sure all the people, you know, who are supposed to hear, they are involved, like infrastructure team, database team, development team, networking team. Okay, everybody is part of that particular test plan walkthrough. Make sure the responsibilities is totally understood and clearly called out. Every single responsibility of different teams are called out clearly in the walkthrough. Okay, so in the walkthrough, if you find that there are any changes that needs to be done, okay, you as the meeting is going on, you note down, okay, all the meeting minutes. Note down all the meeting minutes. Do you know what is this meeting minutes, or popularly in most of the companies they call it as MOM, meeting of the minutes. MOM, okay. Okay. Do you know what it is? Same as running notes? Yes. As the meeting is going on, okay, different people talk about different things. You note down all of it. Since you are the presenter, you are the owner of the test plan, you note down what different people have spoken, about. Let's say infrastructure team has agreed to create the exact environment of performance testing. So you note down that. Database team agreed to put the data into performance testing environment. You note down that. Like this, every single thing that is discussed. Okay. So you will, meeting of minutes is what they call it. So you note down, or you people simply saying are you taking a MOM? Okay. Simply say, are you taking MOM? Which means that, are you noting down what is happening in our meeting? So you take down the meeting of the minutes or meeting of this, okay, MOM, and then if there is anything that you have to make changes as per this meeting, they felt that, you know, there are some sections that needs to be changed, so you make changes to those sections if required. Okay, if required after this meeting, okay, you make changes to those sections. Now final draft of test plan is ready. Final draft of test plan is ready. You started with the initial draft. It went through stages, reviews, peer reviews, manager reviews, client reviews. Then finally, your test plan is in a good shape. This is when you call out for a meeting with all the people, with all the important people. Then you give a walkthrough. Walkthrough means showing your test plan to each and every person who are involved in this project. Not only showing them, but walking through the test plan, which means that open each section, talk about that section, and see if there is any people that are involved and they need to get some work done. So clearly talk about those work and make sure you get the approval from them, or it is clearly understood to them that, you know, what is the expectation from other teams. Okay, if there is any discrepancies or if there is anything, so solve those discrepancies in the meeting, and finally the walkthrough is done. And if there are any changes that needs to be done after the walkthrough, you make the changes, and the final draft is ready. Now you send this test plan for approval. Now you send this test plan for approval. Who is supposed to approve, guys? Who is supposed to approve? I created, can I approve? I created, can I approve this test plan? I'm just asking you a question. Who is the best person to approve the test plan? Client. No, not your manager, okay? Not your manager, the client, whoever is the client, okay? That guy or the stakeholders, in simple word, the stakeholders or client or whoever is giving you the project or whoever is giving you the money, that guy is supposed to approve, okay? So again, approval for me could be one person, okay? Could be one person depending on your project, or it could be more than one person, okay? For me, there were 3 people who were supposed to approve. Program manager, project manager, and performance testing manager from the client side, not from our side, okay? Again, I've been saying client side. Did you get that? I'm sure people in India already know that, but people in US, can you relate this term client side? What do they mean by client side? I'm just asking you. Somebody, Melly or whoever, Majid or Yigrim, Kida, anybody can answer this. I just wanted to hear from you as to when I said client side, what is that? What is your impression of it? Okay. I want to, if somebody wants to talk, they can talk. Okay. Again, I'm telling you guys, let's say it's a Bank of America project. Okay, this is a banking application. If you don't know it, it's a banking application. Okay, now Bank of America doesn't have enough IT staff to implement the project. So what do they do, guys? They don't have enough IT staff to implement the project. So what do they do? What do they do, guys? Any idea? What do? They don't have enough this thing to implement the project. So what do they do? I want to hear from you. What do they do if they don't have enough enough resources to implement the project? Enough resources to implement the project, they outsource it.
They hire them.
They outsource it. Okay, so they outsource the project. Okay, to a IT company. To an IT company. It could be, I'm telling you popular ones, Infosys, okay, Wipro, okay, TCS, okay, even in US these are popular these days, okay, TCS or Accenture, CTS, Capgemini, okay, Patni. So like this, there are a lot of companies, okay, so there are a lot of companies. IBM, yeah, sorry, I missed out IBM. Some of the people are working in IBM, they got offended, okay, I'm sorry about that, okay, yeah. So now you are working, okay, so let's say you are the employee, you are a performance test client and you are the employee of Infosys, okay, so Infosys, okay, so you have an Infosys test manager, okay, so he is not the one who is supposed to approve, okay, manager from Bank of America, this guy is the client side. When I said client side, this is what I meant, okay, the client side manager, okay, client side manager. Yes, you are reporting to Infosys test manager, there is no doubt about it, but there is a manager from the client side as well who works for Bank of America, and this is the guy who is supposed to approve your test plan. This is the guy who is supposed to approve your test plan. Are we clear, guys? Are we clear, all of you? Are we clear, all of you? Everybody who is not in the IT field, now you got an idea as to what is going on here. Okay, you are working for a company called Infosys, but for Infosys they got the project from where? Bank of America. So what happens? Bank of America will give money to Infosys. Money will put Infosys, and Infosys will put some money and give it to you who are a performance tester. Okay, so for you might be reporting to Infosys test manager. Your boss is Infosys test manager, but the test plan needs to be approved from the client side manager. Okay, because they are the ones who is giving the money and they are the ones who are supposed to approve. Your test manager approved, it doesn't mean anything. Okay, when I said yours, Infosys test manager in this case. Okay, these guys are giving the money, so somebody from this guy, okay, some responsible person from this company has to approve the test plan. Then only you will be confident as well. If something goes wrong halfway through, you can always say that you are the one who have approved the test plan. You should have you should have thought about it before you have approved it. But you yourself have created inside the company Infosys, and you yourself have approved inside the company Infosys. Something goes halfway through, then you are responsible as a company Infosys. When I said you, the Infosys company is responsible, and they will never take that chance. Okay, they will always involve in halfway through and say that, oh, this is what we are planning. Make sure you look at this. You're the one who is giving us money. Make sure you look at this, and if you approve it, and then we'll go ahead and do it. Okay. Wonderful, guys. Are we okay so far? Are we okay so far, everybody? Got a clear understanding what is happening inside the project once you get into the project, guys? All of you. This is not just for the test plan. This class is not just for the test plan. Once you get into the project, what actually should happen? Will it happen in your company or not? May not be. There will be some deviations. But this is how it should be typically. Okay? Now what? Created the test plan. Initial draft is ready. Then after multiple reviews, then it comes to a good shape. Then you have a walkthrough. After the walkthrough, you have a final draft. Now you're sending it for a review. Once the review is done, okay. Last stage is what? Review. Review is already done. Sorry, approval. Okay. Once the approval is done, okay. As I've told you, it could be one person from the client or many people from the client. Approval needs to be done. Once the approval is done, now we call this as test plan is baseline. What do you say? Test plan is baseline. Approval means what? Sign off, man. Approval is what? Sign off. Approval is what? Sign off. He signed it off. Okay? He has done it. He has read the planning. He is happy with the planning and he signed off, which means that they're happy. And now the test plan is baseline. Baseline means there are no more changes. No more changes to this plan. Okay? But again, I've seen in the real world, they are the ones who will give you money. They can always request for the changes. If the big guy from the client side say, no, we are giving the money, this is not how it should be, then sometimes I went ahead and changed the plan halfway through. After creating the scripts as well, I had to change the test plan, but that happens very rarely. That happens very, very rarely. Okay? But anyways, so this is what it is. Okay? Again, steps, guys. Create the test plan, initial draft, peer reviews, incorporate the review comments, test manager review, then incorporate the review comments, client reviews, more than one, incorporate the reviews, then it gets to a decent shape. Walk through, then you have a final draft. Where is my final draft? Okay, here is the final draft. I will say this is the final draft. After the walkthrough, you have the final draft. After the walkthrough, you have the final draft, and the seventh step is the approval. Okay, once the final draft is done, you send it for the approval. Once the approval is done, your document is baseline. Okay, this is the 8th step. Are we clear with all the steps, guys? Are we clear with all the steps? All of you got the picture? Okay. Maybe a couple of hours, Shraddha, I don't know. I'm just guessing because I never taken this kind of class. Like as I've told you, offline, offhand I've taken, but as a class I'm taking this, so I can't really tell you. So should go for 1 more hour at least. Okay, so I started for 1 hour, but looks like it is little more. Okay, so now you see if this document is approved, you just check this mark and it says approved. Okay, so which means that this is approved. But right now, let's say it is not approved. Okay, let's say that. Okay, date. Okay, whenever there are change, whenever the issue date means whenever your final draft is ready. And you're sending for the approval, you're sending this document for the approval, that date you have to put it over here. Okay, and let's say you are the one who have created this test plan, so put your name over there. Okay, and your designation, whether it's a lead or analyst or whatever you are, you put it over there. Peer reviews, if it is done by more than one person, you can put, let's say my manager name is Mark. Okay, so now Mark, who's a test manager, has done the peer review. Okay, it could be peer review could be done by multiple people or one person. If it's multiple people, you put all the people and their designations. Okay, so let's say there is one more person called Susie, or maybe I'll take the name Stacy. Okay, so she's, let's say, performance test manager from our side. Let's say she's a performance tester from our side. So she's also belonging to this Mercury Web Tools project. Okay, so you keep adding all the people who have peer reviewed it. So you can add all the people. Now the document is highly confidential, guys. The document is highly confidential. You see document control. Okay, every time, as I've told you, right, first it will be a version 1, then version 2, version 3, version 4. Let's say after version 10 the final draft is ready, then you put what all has happened during the versions. You see, version 1, it was an initial draft and so date. Version 2, done by the peer reviews. Let's say this is the peer review. Okay, let's say this is a peer review done by Stacy. Okay, so incorporate those changes. Okay, so incorporated the changes. So it has done on so and so date. Let's say it is done on 26th. Okay, then the version 3, let's say version 3 is manager review. Okay, manager review. Okay, and updated. Okay, updated section test data or test data section updated. What all the sections you have updated? Let's say updated test schedule. Okay, updated updated test schedule. Okay, then you can say updated workload modeling sheet. Okay, like this, what all the things that you have updated after the review, you can put it over here. Or you can just say incorporate. You are lazy, you can just say incorporated the changes, or what are the exact changes that you have incorporated, you can put it over here. Like this, for every version, what is that you have done, why there is a new version. Okay, why there is a new version? Because there is a review, and what are the changes you have done, you can put all that over here, and you can give, let's say there are 10 versions, you can give the complete review history or revision history over here. Okay, and you see, this is actually, instead of saying input and decision rights, the appropriate word is, okay, the appropriate word is approval and review. Okay, approval and review. Okay, for example, there is a guy called Mark. He is the test director, or some people call this as program manager as well. Okay, so he's one main guy. Okay, he's a test director for all the teams, not just for your team, but he's a test director for all the teams. Okay, so he has to approve it. He has a right to approve. Okay, we are giving him the power to approve. Okay, then let's say there is another guy called lady called Stacy. Okay, she is the client side or Bank of America. Okay, BOFA. Let's say this is Mercury, right? So this company called Mercury. Okay, and let's say she is the NFT manager. You understand by the word NFT, guys? You understand by the word NFT? You understand by the word NFT? Understand by the word NFT? What is this, guys? What is this NFT? Okay, she has an approval right. Okay, so that's what it is. So NFT means non-functional testing. What are all the non-functional testings? Performance testing is only one of the multiple non-functional testings. So let's say she is the manager for all the non-functional testings, like performance testing, security testing, compatibility testing. What all the non-functional testing is there, she's the manager for that. So she has the approval right. Okay, so let's say Kumar Gupta is there. Kumar Gupta, you might get confused. So there is another guy called Anand Kumar. Okay, let's say he's an architect. Okay, he's a senior system architect. Let's say he's a senior system architect. Okay, he just has he can just review and provide the inputs. Okay, he can just review and provide the inputs. Okay, and there is another guy called Gupta. Okay, he's some consultant. He can. It is for information only. He cannot review. He cannot approve. He cannot do anything. All he can do is he can just review and say that, oh, this is what it is. It's just for his information. Okay. The people say, right, JFY. They know this word JFY. Okay. JFI. All of you know that, guys. JFI. Have you heard about it? Once you come to the IT company, these are the ones. There are some terms you need to know once you come to IT company. ASAP. What is ASAP, guys? What is ASAP? I want to hear from all of you. Quickly. As soon as possible. ETA. These, once you go to the IT company, this is something that you need to understand all these terms. ETA. ETA. Okay. So estimated time arrival. In other words, when will this work can be done? Okay. Okay, you said that I need to write the test cases. You went to your manager and said, I need to write the test cases. Then manager said, what is the ETA on the task? Okay, which means that when will you be able to complete writing the test cases? Okay, so that's what it is. Similarly, JFI. Okay, just for your information. Okay, which means that you need not have to do anything. It is just for your information. Okay, just read it and okay, see what it is there. Okay, so in the emails you will be receiving this kind of terms, so you have to be aware of these terms. Okay, just for your information. Okay, some people say JFI and then slash and they say A. What does that mean? Again, this has nothing to do with performance testing, guys. If you want to be in IT field, you need to know all this. Okay, and also action. It's not only just for your information, but you have to act on that as well. Okay, just for your information. Okay, and also if there is anything that you have to do from your side, do it. Okay, so these are the terms that you have to be really be aware of it. So once you get into the IT field and you're not aware of it, they right away figure out that you are a fresher. Okay, you're going as an experienced person, you need to be aware of all these terms. Okay, now okay, this is JFI, which means that this guy has nothing to do. He cannot review, he cannot give you the review comments, or he cannot approve you. He can read the test plan and understand and say, oh, this is what is happening with performance testing. That's it. Okay, so that's like this. Okay, so there are three levels. Okay, one is highest level wherein they can approve. The second level is only they can provide the reviews, and the third level is it's just for their information. Okay, so this is what is. People who are in this list of approve, they're supposed to read the test plan and they're supposed to approve it. Okay, and references. When you've created this test plan, you have referred hundreds of documents, or not hundreds, but at least 5 to 10 more documents. Okay, you could have referred to the documents like, okay, you could have referred to the documents like technical design document. Okay, technical design document. You could have referred to the document like NFR document. Okay, you could have referred to the document called business requirements document. Okay, okay, you could have referred system testing test plan. Okay, or you could have referred to system integration testing test plan. Okay, like this. You refer to lot of documents. A project has lots of documents. You would refer to lot of documents. Okay, so what are all the documents that you have referred, you put those documents over here. You put all those documents, these versions, just like your document has a version. You see, your document has a version, those documents have a version as well. So exactly which version of the document you have referred to. Okay, and if there is a network and there is a link for that, if it is stored, you give that appropriate link over here as well. Okay, so what all the references that you have made, you can. So any book, did you read any books, any technical books, guys? Did you read any technical books? I'm just asking you simple questions. Okay, any technical books, anything in your life. Okay, text black. Okay, yeah. So completely at last, on the last pages of any book, what do they have, guys? What do they have? Any article or any book, what do they have on the last page? Glossary, appendix, and also, did you find these things called references? Did you find this section called references? Any technical book? Okay, yeah. So they have looked into those reference books and created this book. That's what they mean. Okay, so you read any technical book, definitely there is a section called references in the last page, wherein they will tell you what all the books that they have referred, based on which they have come out with that article or the book. Okay, similarly, this test plan also, there are references. You have referred to all these documents and prepared those documents. All those references you have to put over here. Okay, you have to put over here. So far it is clear, guys. So far it is clear. You're getting a picture as to what happens in the real world. So far it is clear, all of you. Okay, interview, definitely you say that you have created the test plan, and whatever is taught in the class, if you talk about that in the interviews, it will be enough. I'm telling you, it will be enough. Okay, so far we didn't even started the test plan. We didn't even started the test plan yet. Okay, now look at this. The test plan is divided into different sections. The sections have a chapter. Okay, so you see these are the main sections, and then you have the subsections. Okay, so total overall in my test plan there are 8. This is the template which I like it and I have taken it. Okay, there will be certain changes of the templates from company to company. Okay, but overall the contents will be same. Okay, first one is the introduction. Second one is the risk identification and contingencies. So what is the scope of testing? What is that you're testing? And what is your approach for the testing? Okay, what is your schedule and milestones? And roles and responsibilities of different people. Test environment, management and procedures. So these are the sections. We'll go through each section very carefully now. Before that, we'll take a break of 10 minutes. Okay, I hope you are enjoying the class and understanding what would happen in the real world. Okay, now you should be able to take your interviews very, very confidently, I hope. Sumati, are you feeling comfortable now? Sumati, are you feeling comfortable? Are you understanding what happens in the real world? Yeah. Okay. So some people have asked me, Kumar, I don't really know what happens exactly. So when they ask this question, can you tell me exactly what has happened in a project? I have this doubt, or I have this trouble of clearly conveying what would happen or what should happen. Okay. So now you will get 100% clarity. Okay. So we'll take a 10 minutes break, guys. I'm putting you on mute and also pausing the recording. Okay. So please. Okay. So now let's start with the first section, guys. Just to set the expectations, the class will go for the next 1 hour. Okay, whatever is possible, I'll cover in this next 1 hour, and we will see if I cannot cover the whole thing. We'll have a backup plan as to when we can come back and cover the remaining topics. Okay, so on that note, I'll get started now. Just give me a moment. So. Okay, so on that note, we'll get started. So first is the introduction. Okay, just an introduction test section, which talks about the background, what is the purpose of creating this test document, and what are your objectives, and who are your audiences, for whom you are creating this test plan for. Okay, once this test plan is created, audience means if there is a movie, there is an audience. Typically for this document as well. So similarly, for this document as well, there is an audience, which means that who is supposed to look at this document, or for whom you are creating this document for. Okay, what are the objectives, and what is the purpose of this document, and what is the background, actually why this project has started. Okay, how this project has started, what is the whole purpose of this, background of this project. Okay, that comes in the introduction. So later on we'll talk about the second section. First, let's have a quick look at the introduction part, which contains usually these 4 sections. Again, I'm telling you the template would change from company to company, project to project a little bit, but overall the sense, the essence of that particular plan would be still same. Okay, so the essence of this plan or the overall what you have to convey through this plan, it will be same, but template would change slightly, 10 to 20%. The section names or the number of subsections you will have, that will change from project to project, company to company. Okay, now first introduction, project. Okay, I'll give you a little bit of background of, let's say, Mercury, this Mercury Web Tools project. Okay, instead of saying sample project, I would say Web Tools project, Mercury Web Tools, and need not have to say project. Okay, you see, recent regulatory reforms coupled with continued market volatility has resulted in changing the needs of advisors and investors of that particular, let's say this bank, Mercury Web Tools is a banking application. Just an example. Okay, since I've worked most of my life in the banking, when I create a test plan as well, you know, my thought process or all the things will be around banking only. So instead of saying Mercury Web Tools, I would say banking. So banking, okay, some banking, BOFA banking, I'll say BOFA, Bank of America banking. Okay, project. So overall, I'll change Mercury to banking. Okay, Mercury Web Tools to BOFA banking. Okay, wherever I see that, because you know the text and everything is around banking itself. That's how I've created this. Okay. Okay. So if there is any Mercury, change that, guys. Okay. So definitely when you're talking about banking, there are advisors, there are investors. So there is, market is changing. As per the market, the application has to change as well. And the infrastructure is also very complex and aging. Aging means old, legacy. Okay, the whole infrastructure that we had completely old and it is very complex. You replace that with a simple infrastructure, with the simple servers on that, instead of going with the complex. And also everything, like, you know, the whole business is changing. So based on that, we are, you know, the whole project has changed, and that is the reason why you're coming out with this new project. That's the reason why this BOFA banking project is initiated. Okay, or the background could be as simple as we are adding additional features to the existing product, and additional features could be adding the check, adding the, you know, ordering the checkbook or contact details or whatever it is, whatever you are updating, all those sections you can put it over here and say that we are going with a major upgrade and adding enhancing the existing features and adding these additional features, and this for very reason this project has started. So whatever is the background of it, you can put it over there. Definitely this project background for my projects, I never created it. It's already there in one of those documents. I used to refer to a lot of documents, I've told you, right? I used to refer to a lot of documents, right? Somewhere there is a project background. I copy and pasted it over there. I'll read it and then get that over here and put it over here. Okay, so that's what is it. Okay, because it's not talking about performance testing, it's talking about the whole project. Okay, which means that it includes development, testing, all kinds of testing, and this one. Okay, for me, I used to go to system integration test plan, and whatever the project background over there, I used to put the same thing, because project background will be still same. And document purpose, you see the document purpose. Okay, clearly see, you define the scope of performance testing of this BOFA project. Okay, okay, BOFA project. So what is the scope? Okay, what is that you're planning to test? What is there in your scope of testing? Okay, we talk about the scope at the later sections. Scope means what is that you're exactly testing. Okay, what is that you don't want it to test, and what is that we have, and in that what is that your scope of testing is, or you are testing it. Okay, so you're defining the scope very clearly, and what is your approach for this project. Okay, and references for this project. Okay, so you provide these references to the downstream components, somebody who's there, okay, in the downstream, you provide references. This document will provide references to them and provide the detailed activities required to prepare and conduct the performance testing. Okay, this is one of the major purpose. It will clearly require, okay, it will clearly list out all the activities that you are planning to do as a part of performance testing. As a part of performance testing. This is what I could think of, and I've put it over here. You could have 1 point, you could have 10 points over here. Okay, typically what is the main purpose of this document? Clearly lay out what all the activities that you're planning to perform in this performance testing. Okay, and also clearly tell them that what is your scope of testing, or what is that you're planning to test, and what is that you're not planning to test, which means that it is out of scope. These are the main two purposes typically a performance testing will be created for. A performance test plan will be created for. And depending on your project, you can add 100 other points. But these are the two main points, guys. These are the two main points. Okay. These are the main two points, but you can keep adding others. Okay, try to understand, try to not copy this whatever I've put over here. Okay, try to understand different sections so that you can be able to talk about that in the interviews. Okay, you see, purpose is what, scope of performance testing, in scope and out of scope, and then what are the activities that you're planning to perform as a part of this test plan. Okay, now objectives. Okay, the test objectives here. So clearly see, you see, the purpose of performance test plans to identify and mitigate performance risk associated with this project. Okay, through execution of specific test cases that mirror the immediate production and future requirements. Okay, by doing the performance testing, you wanted to identify and see if there are any performance risks. You wanted to mitigate them as well. Mitigate means reduce them as much as possible. Okay, and you can clearly lay down the objectives. I'll go through a couple of objectives. You see, validate the changes. This we have assumed that it's an 18E3 changes. Okay, validate the 18E3 changes would not impact the performance of the application. Okay, whatever there is, there is already the application. You're making some changes, and you don't want it to see that being impacted. And you see, identify the areas of performance bottlenecks in case if there is a performance degradation in the online or batch. Okay, so forget about online or batch. You can just say degradation. Like this, you clearly lay down all the objectives of this one. Okay, what are the main objectives of doing this performance testing? Just to make sure, what is the main objective, guys? Identify the bottlenecks and clear the bottlenecks, but you try to put them into different aspects. Okay, I went through two of them. That should be good. Okay, so we talked about performance bottlenecks as well. What is performance bottlenecks? Okay, you can go through them at your thing. Okay, and you see, who are the audiences for this document? Who are the audiences for this document? Okay, wherever there is mercury, replace. Let me see that. Okay, hang on, guys. Wherever there is mercury, I'll replace it over all the places so that it becomes easy. So I'll change it as BOFA, Bank of America. Okay, banking. Okay, replace all. Okay, so that is okay. So BOFA, banking, projects. Who are the audiences, guys? Who are the audiences? Okay, who are the audiences? Hang on, guys, one second. Yeah, this looks good now. So BOFA, banking, project stakeholders, business team, architecture team, development teams. These are the ones who are supposed to. When I said audiences, this document is prepared so that all these guys can see. When I said project stakeholders, who are the project stakeholders? The business team, okay, which is business analyst and all them, the architecture team, the development team. Okay, and also the BOFA, Bank of America, development and testing team. Already I've mentioned the development team here, the testing team. Okay, test teams. All the test teams, they are the audiences. Anybody, all these people can look at these documents. And if there are any external consultants, you can put those and they are supposed to look at this document as well. And you are preparing this document which will help them. Then you can put them into the document audience. Put them into the document audience. So you got a little bit of idea as to what is this purpose. I mean, what is this first section, guys? What is this first section? You got an idea? Introduction. This again, I'm walking through so that you get an idea as to how the test plan would look like, what are the different sections and what it is. You can use this template, but you cannot copy the same points into your project, guys. You cannot say that, please don't delete those 2 points, sir, because I cooked up those 2 points, guys. Okay, so depending on your project, you can add more points or delete the existing points. But to get you a feel for what it looks like, I'm preparing, I'm showing this document to you. Okay, if you're doing it again, don't copy paste everything from here. If you like few points, you can take few points, but depending on when you talk to different people and the templates you have, your seniors have written, you can refer. Some performance test plans would have been already there in the organization, so you look at those documents and you can look at this document and you can come out with your own points. Okay, just to give you a feel for what it is, I've put down this the points so that you can go through. Okay, by the way, I'll be sending this document across to you. Okay, I'll be sending this document across to you. So at your piece, you can go through more points which will help you with the interviews. Because in the interview, they will say, oh, there is a section I have written assumptions. Okay, then immediately they will ask you, can you please list down some assumptions that you have put down? Or they can say, can you please help me with some assumptions that you have made in your projects? Okay, can you please help me with the assumptions that you have made? So you can read through the assumptions that I have given, and you can think about few assumptions from your projects, and you can talk about those assumptions in the interviews. Okay, so you see, the next section is risks identification and contingencies. Risk identification and contingencies. Okay, so in this there are three sections, guys: assumptions, okay, constraints, dependencies. Okay, there are three sections in that, and then risks for performance testing as well. Okay, so there are four ones. Okay, what are those? Assumptions. Okay, second one is constraints, third one is dependencies, fourth one is risks. Okay, fourth one is risks. You need not have to say two performance testing, because obviously this whole document is for performance testing, so there's no point adding two performance testing. Okay, I'll go through a few assumptions, I'll go through few constraints, I'll go through few dependencies, I'll go through few risks. Automatically you will understand the difference between them. First, we'll try to understand the difference between them. Assumptions is something that you assume. Okay, that you assume. Okay, constraints, which means that there are certain constraints which are there, because of which it might have caused some problems. So you list down the constraints. Okay. Let me delete this cell. Okay, how do I delete it? Is there a delete here? Yeah, delete that arrow. Okay, so I hope you understand the English meanings of this one: assumptions, constraints, okay, dependencies, and risks. Okay, for this project, what are the risks that you think are there? Okay, you put down all those risks here. Okay, or if you feel there is dependencies, maybe there is a dependency on infrastructure team, maybe there is a dependency on database team, maybe there is a dependency on system integration testing team or manual testing team. There is a dependency on maybe you bought these tools from HP. Now it's no longer HP, it is now Micro Focus, right? So there is a dependency on Micro Focus, guys. Okay, the company called Micro Focus. Maybe for, I don't know, there could be a dependency of setting up the LGs, okay, or whatever it is. Okay, setting up the LGs or something. If there is a dependency on them, you can put it over there. So whatever the dependencies you think that are there, okay, you put the dependencies over there, and whatever the risks that you think are there, you put the risks over there. And if you feel any constraints are there, okay, because of which not able to proceed further, or you cannot proceed further, okay, you can put all those dependencies over there. Okay, first let me go through the assumptions. It becomes clear to you. Okay, assumptions I have divided into multiple sections. One is load test environments, load test activity, access to business and technical expertise, test data. Okay, I've divided into 4 sections. I'll go through one assumption from each of those sections so that you get the clarity. Okay, first is the environment, load testing environment, or we can say performance testing environment. Let me call this as performance testing environment. Okay, performance testing environment. You see, what is that we are expecting? Stable and usable test environment. What is the assumption that you have made before starting this test? Stable and usable test environment, or you say performance testing environment, or PT test environment, or PT environment. Instead of saying performance testing, you can say PT environment available for load test scripting, data user preparation and execution. For all the phases of performance testing lifecycle, you are assuming that a stable and usable environment is provided to it. Okay, stable and usable. Stable means it will not go down regularly, and sometimes what happens, some pages will appear, some pages will not appear. Let's say business flow has 10 pages, all the 9 pages are appearing well, but one page is not appearing well. Okay, so that is not stable, and intermittently it is going down. Today it is working, tomorrow it is not working, again day after tomorrow it is working, so it is unstable. So what is your assumption? A stable performance testing environment is available for load testing. For load test scripting, you do not have to say load test. For scripting, data user preparation and execution. Okay, this is the assumption. Okay, likelihood of happening is true. Usually in the real world, a stable environment is given to you, and always remember that performance testing happens after system testing, which means that if there are any issues and all that, it would have been taken care of. Okay, if this assumption is not true, okay, which means that if they have not given a stable environment, then the impact on the project is high, because if this environment is not stable, you will not be able to create scripting, you will not be able to execute the script as well. So impact will be really high if this assumption is not taken care of, or if this assumption is not true. Okay. So you see, environment will provide performance testing environment containing all the requested systems in scope. Okay, if there is any components which are there to it, all that components will also be available. So like this, you make some assumptions and you say, what will happen if this assumption is not happening, or if this assumption is not true. Okay, load test activity. You see, load runner infrastructure test environment is housed in buffer. Okay, is housed in buffer, okay, with load injected from the LR, or we can say with load generators or with LGs. Okay, so infrastructure team or load runner infrastructure test environment is housed in the buffer with LGs. Okay, so this is the assumption that you have made. Okay, so so again, likelihood is they would have already purchased the load runner, and the complete load runner setup is done with proper LGs and all that. Okay, if this is not done properly, then definitely you will not be able to execute it. You will not be able to execute it. Now you see, access to business and technical expertise, because when you are doing the performance testing, guys, you need access to different people like development team, infrastructure team, database team, and on the regular basis. If the access is not provided, and if you are not able to access them when required, then it's a problem. Okay, then it's a problem as well. You see, the impact is high if they are not accessed. And you see, likelihood, I'm not putting high, it is medium, because they are people. Sometimes they say, oh, we are available. Sometimes they say, oh, we have our own work, we'll not be able to support you and all that. Okay, so those are the things. And test data, that the test data that buffer banking requires from provider systems are made available. So whatever the test data that is required, they are made available in the PT environment. They are made available in the PT environment. Again, if this is not done, if it's not happens, the impact is really high. So like this, you will put down all the assumptions. In fact, you can, I'm sending this document in your real-time projects as well. You can take some of these points and you can divide into different sections like this, and you can use them. Okay, but in the interview, if they ask you what are the assumptions that you have made, you should be able to talk about at least 2 to 3 assumptions from this list. I've laid down 12 assumptions, guys, but you should be able to at least talk about 2 to 3 assumptions. Okay. So these are the assumptions that you have made, and you also said if these assumptions are not true, what is the impact on your project? It could be high, it could be medium, or it could be low. You can list down all of them. Okay. Are we clear so far, guys? Are we clear so far? Are we clear so far? So should we continue, guys, or should we postpone something to tomorrow? Okay, I'm just asking you, should we continue? Should we continue till half an hour more? Because this is lot of theory and the document and boring. Okay, so should we stop it here and then continue tomorrow? I just want to hear from all of you. because everybody in one go, if everything is boring, right, in one go it's very difficult. Okay, some people find it interesting, some people find it boring. I just wanted everybody to talk about this. People who want me to continue, please let me know, and the others, I assume that they don't want to continue. Okay. Okay. Okay, it's not about finishing, guys, it's about understanding. Again, I'm telling you. Okay, it's about understanding. We have lot of weekends to go. There are few weekends, so there's a lot of weekends to go. So the point is, when we cover a topic, right, you should be able to talk about that in the interview and understand, get a feeling for it. It's not just about the sake of getting it done. We cannot. Okay, I just want everybody to be in sync with me. Okay, so I'm just asking you, it's not about finishing. Okay, so somebody cannot come tomorrow. Okay, because I see some people already leaving, so that's the reason why I'm asking. Okay, so let's complete this section. Okay, and the test scope, we will do it. We'll do it for maybe next week, or if you have if you have time tomorrow, we'll do it tomorrow. Else we'll postpone it to next week. Okay, because it's too much theory. Okay, let's look at one of the constraints as well. Okay, so you see, the performance testing environment will be done on relationally intact copy of production. Okay, relatively intact copy of production. You see, that's a constraint. You see, performance testing environment should be similar to performance testing. Performance testing environment should be similar to production. It should be like production. So they should have an intact. It should have been done with taken the copy of production, and it should have been done. Okay, that is a constraint. Okay, that is one constraint. This is the most efficient and low risk approach of creating the performance testing environment. Okay, so this is the constraint that you think it is there. This is the constraint that is think. In other words, the performance testing environment should be just like production. That is the constraint that you're putting. Okay, that you're putting. Dependencies, let's look at couple of dependencies, or one dependency. Availability of performance testing environment with the latest code or latest build. Okay, so this is very, very important. Okay, the code changes all the time. Okay, the code changes. Okay, code changes all the time. Why? So developers are developing the code every day. Which means that today, maybe in this 1 week, in let's say this week, they have developed. Okay, they have developed, let's say 2 classes. Okay, it's a Java programming. Let's say 2 classes. Okay, they have developed 2 classes. Okay, or 2 methods or 2 classes, or in other words, they have added 1,000 pieces of code. Okay, if somebody who's completely new to programming, instead of saying 2 classes, I would say 1,000 lines of code. They have added 1,000 lines of code in this 1 week. Now what they do, there is already code present. With, let's say, 10,000 lines of code. Okay, 10,000 lines of code. Now they will add. Okay, let's say this is what we call it as a build. They will give a build name. Let's say the build name is 345.21. Okay, now what they do in this 1 week, all the developers put together, they have developed 1,000 lines of code. So what they will do, so this is your initial code, right? This is your initial code which has 1,000 lines of code, and they are calling it as a build, which is 34521. Okay, now in this week they have added 1,000 lines of code. So they have created 1,000 lines of code. Okay, they have developed or created 1,000 lines of code. So what they will do, they will add this 1,000 lines of code to the initial code. Okay, or the main code that they have, which is 10,000 lines. Okay, now you have a final code. You have a final code which has 11,000 lines of code. Okay, now this one, a new build is now created. Now the new build will be, earlier it is 345.21, now it is 345.22. This is new build. Okay, so next week there will be one more new build with the changes to the existing code or new lines of code that is added. Then the week after then the week after there could be one more new build. Like this, you could have new builds continuously. New build means they could have changed the existing code, or they could have added new code. Okay, new lines of code. Even if you change one single line, even if you change one single line, then it's a new build or a new build. Okay, and automatically the build number changes to 345.23. Like this, every time there is a change in the code, every time there is an overall change in the code, they will create a new build, they will give a number to the new build, and they will give you that build. Okay, so what you're saying, every time there is a latest code, our environment should be updated with the latest code. Our performance testing environment should be updated with the latest code. Okay, so whenever they are making changes to the existing code or adding the existing code, so you have a new build, so the performance testing should be available with the latest build or latest code. Okay, availability of performance testing environment with the latest build or latest code. Okay, layman's language is latest code. Okay, so are we okay, guys? When I say build, do you understand what is a build? Are we okay? Are we okay, guys? When I say build, you understand what is a build? All of you, I'm asking. Yeah, okay. Whenever they make changes to the existing code, automatically the code has changed, so they will create a build out of this new code, so you have a new build. So we are making sure that our performance testing environment should be always updated with this latest code. Okay, if you see dependency, impact to plan if not delivered. If this dependency is not delivered, then there is a delay in the project. And who is the owner? Who is supposed to make sure that always the performance testing environment comes with the latest build? Your project manager. Okay, like that. Okay, like this, you have a lot of dependencies. You can list the dependencies. Okay, let's look at a couple of risks as well. Okay, risk: system instability and non-availability. When I said system, the performance testing environment, PT environment. Okay, PT environment. Okay, PT environment, instability and non-availability. If this is the risk, it can always happen. Okay, it can always happen. If this risk has happened, what is the possibility? Unable to run the scripts or the scenarios. Okay, if this risk has happened, the impact will be high. What is the probability of having this risk? It is medium. Okay, so what is the probability of having this risk? Now I've put it as medium. If your company is very particular about it and rarely it happens, you can say the probability is low. Okay, it depends on your project. Okay, you can look at it, you can talk to them and see, like, how the builds are and all that, and see what is the probability of having that. What is the probability of having that? And what is the mitigation? Mitigation means to minimize this risk. Mitigation is what, guys? To minimize this risk. Okay, what is the mitigation? Minimize this risk. Okay, so let's say it is your marriage. Okay, it is your marriage. Okay, what is the risk? It is a raining season and there could be a rain on the marriage day. There could be a rain on the marriage day. Okay, impact, it will be very high because the whole marriage will be ruined. Probability, it is medium because it's a raining season. Mitigation plan, I will get my marriage done in not open spaces but inside a marriage hall or church. Okay, so you're making sure that whatever the party that you're throwing, it's not in the open spaces. You make sure there is a roof over that, so that there is a roof over that. So that is what it is. Clearly understood, guys? What is the risk? If this test plan or if this planning is for your marriage, what is the risk? There could be a rain on the marriage day. Impact, it will be really high. Probability, because it's a raining season, there is a probability of happening which is medium. What is the mitigation plan? You're making sure that the marriage is happening in a place where there is a roof. In a place where there is a roof. Okay? In a place where there is a okay. I'll get married not in open spaces but inside a marriage hall or a church. So that's your mitigation plan. Okay, that's your mitigation plan. Like this, every risk you put down, you look at the impact and what is the mitigations that you think. What is the mitigations that you think needs to be there, you put it over there. Okay. So here, this is where we will stop, guys. This is where we will stop. Okay. Now I'll ask you a simple question. Can you come tomorrow at the same time? At the same time, can you come tomorrow at the same time? Because it's a theory, I'm not able to proceed further. Okay. If it was demonstration of the tool, I would have taken 10 minutes break and then continue. Because theory, so much happens, and you know, after a particular point, nothing goes into your head. Nothing goes into your head, and it becomes extremely boring. Okay. So we'll do it tomorrow at the same time, guys, and this is getting recorded as well, just in case if somebody is not able to make it. So please, tomorrow, you know, you can look into the recorded videos. I just don't want to get it done. I want you to understand at least 30-40% of what I'm saying. Okay, so it could be in the same time, because tomorrow I have online class. I mean, I have classroom trainings. So once this is done, I have to rush to the classroom trainings. Okay, so I'll not be available, Shraddha, because classroom trainings are there. And once coming from the classroom trainings, again evening I have to take, and then again Tuesday morning, it's not possible for me. So please make sure you're available, okay? Or else you have the recorded videos. This is what I can tell you, okay? So you have to adjust this. Schedule, guys, because this is all the extra topics, okay, which was never part of the plan. But I'm just putting these extra efforts from my side so that in the interviews, in case if they ask about it, you should be able to confidently tell this. Okay. So please, I know it's a weekend, but you know, we have to, you know, we are working for a bigger good to get the jobs in IT or move into the performance testing area. So we have to sacrifice a few weekends, and assuming that, you know, in these 2 months we are sacrificing the weekends, 2.5 months. Okay. So tomorrow at the same time, guys, see you. Okay. And let's exactly at the same time, 8 o'clock. Okay. Thank you, guys. From my side, I'll send you the recording videos as well as the performance testing template or the test plan which I'm walking through. Any questions, guys, before I wrap it up? Any questions before I wrap it up? Any suggestions, questions? Suggestions not in terms of the schedule. Tomorrow it's at same time, 8 o'clock, but the suggestions. Any suggestions? Any other suggestions? Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you for everybody. So for attending my classes. Hope you have learned a little bit at least today, and see you tomorrow. Thank you, Rohan.